Hey everyone, hope you're having a great last week of the holiday break. It is Saturday, which means is yet another time for me to give an NFL report. I know I usually call my NFL podcast NFL Tonight, but I've decided to take away all the names of my different sports podcasts and I'll mold them into one that I'm calling the Ruben Report. I'm still going to do all sports separately, but I just decided to give it a different name. With that being said, this is my final NFL podcast of the regular season. Um, I am most likely going to do playoff reports as well, but nevertheless, this is the last week of the regular season, therefore the last um, show for the regular season that I can do. With that being said, a lot of playoff implications going in. Definitely, this is going to be the most dramatic week of the season, and no bullcrap. I'm just gonna go straight to it. First up, we have the Baltimore Ravens sitting at 8-7, going to Cincinnati to play the 10-5 Bengals. Both teams have playoff implications here. Baltimore can get a playoff spot with a win, plus a Miami Dolphins loss, a San Diego Chargers loss, and a Pittsburgh Steelers loss or tie. Um, and the Bengals can, excuse me, Bengals can clinch a first round bye and um, can clinch a first round bye with a win plus a New England Patriots loss. So obviously going to be a very important game for both teams. However, as much as I'd love to see my Baltimore Ravens make the playoffs, I don't think they have it in them. I'm gonna have to go with the Cincinnati Bengals in this one. Really a team that has really risen up from adversity. Top star players out for the year, and yet they're still able to clinch a playoff spot, which is unbelievable. Also, you have to remember Cincinnati undefeated at home, so that's going to play a big factor in it. So I'm going to say the Andy Dalton and the Bengals take the win here. All right, next up we have the 4-6 Cleveland Browns going to Pittsburgh to take on the 7-8 Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, Steelers can make the playoffs with a win plus the Dolphins, Ravens, and Chargers, San Diego Chargers, that is, all need to lose their games. None of them can tie. In order for Pittsburgh to make the playoffs, they all need to lose, which is most likely not going to happen, seeing the matchups for these other teams. There are some very easy matchups there, which I'm going to get into a bit later. And I do see the Steelers taking the win here, especially since it's in Pittsburgh, which is a good home field advantage for them. But nevertheless, I gotta give it to. I'm gonna give the win to Pittsburgh, but I don't see them making the playoffs. Still a very valiant effort by Ben Roethlisberger and company to have an 0-4 start and then fight their way all the way to the end to just even be in playoff contention is amazing. Um, Next up, we have the 11-4 Carolina Panthers going to Atlanta to take on the 4-11 Falcons. At the beginning of the season, everyone would have said that the Falcons would go 11-4 and the Panthers would go 4-11. No one expected the Panthers to be this good and the Falcons to just collapse like this. But nevertheless, Panthers with the win, they can clinch a division. They can clinch the division championship, the NFC South championship, and also a first round bye. So they need to win this game and they need a Saints loss for that to happen. I do see the Panthers taking the win here. Definitely Cam Newton gonna give another highlight reel effort. Doing the same Cam Newton, in my opinion, the best scrambling quarterback, mobile quarterback in the league. Has had his best season this year out of his 3-year career. Passer rating like we've never seen before, and I just think that they're going to step up and really make an impact in the playoffs. Next up, we have the 7-8 Detroit Lions going up against the 4-10-1 Minnesota Vikings. This is the one game that has no implications. Well, sorry. Yes, it does. It is the one game that has really no playoff implications or implications in general. But I see the Vikings taking the win here if and only if Adrian Peterson is able to play this season. Backup running back Toby Gerhart out for this game, and it's going to be interesting. I'd suggest watch this game just because you get to see Adrian Peterson and Calvin Johnson play. But other than that, I don't see it as a must see, as definitely as important as some other games this week. But nevertheless, should be still have some fun highlights to watch. I say the Vikings take the win here. Next up, we have the 3-12 Houston Texans going up against the 6-9 Tennessee Titans. There's only one implication here. If the Texans lose this game, not only will it make it 14 straight losses, and not only will most likely interim head coach Wade Phillips be fired, but if they lose, the Texans are most likely going to have the first overall draft pick, which would be a huge boost for them, especially having players return next year, such as Brian Cushing. If they draft someone like Jadeveon Clowney, definitely going to be one of the better defenses in the league. Maybe draft a quarterback to replace Matt Schaub and Case Keenum. Maybe Johnny Manziel or Teddy Bridgewater or A.J. McCarron even. But nevertheless, I see the Titans taking the win here. And I would not encourage anyone to, well, not anyone, but if you want to watch a big game this week, I suggest this isn't really one of them. I suggest like at the end of the game, just check on your phone or your computer or tablet to see if the Texans win or lose this game. So really not a big game here. On to the next one. We have the 7-8 New York Jets going into Miami to take on the 8-7 Miami Dolphins. Dolphins can clinch a playoff spot with a win plus a Chargers win or loss, so either way that works for them. A Ravens loss and a Steelers loss or tie. Really, the Steelers loss or tie doesn't even matter because they pretty much are, since Pittsburgh is so far back and Miami already has like the current spot, they pretty much locked into it. Nevertheless, I see the Dolphins taking the win here, and sorry for a second. Sorry about that. Some technical difficulties. I see the Dolphins taking the win here, simply because the Jets have just been collapsing lately, and Rex Ryan once again on the hot seat. I truly believe this is the season he's going to get fired. So I see Dolphins taking the win here, with Tannehill once again having another great game after his great second half of this season. Dolphins really turning everything around after the whole Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin issue. And I see the Dolphins making the playoffs out of all the NFC wildcard teams, or wildcard contending teams. So if I'm right, congratulations to Miami. I'll be cheering for you in the playoffs. Next up, we have the 3-12 Washington Redskins going to the home of Super Bowl 48, MetLife Stadium, to take on the 6-9 New York Giants. No playoff implications here, but some big coaching implications. Both Redskins head coach Mike Shanahan and Chargers head coach Tom Coughlin currently on the hot seat. Loser, I truly believe, is going to be fired from their team. And, it does give some pressure for both teams. RG3 not going to start for Washington. Kirk Cousins will start instead. Sorry. But nevertheless, I see the Redskins taking the win here. Eli Manning just had a horrendous season, and you can't have that. You're a two-time Super Bowl champion, two-time Super Bowl MVP. You cannot have this bad a season. I will be surprised that if Eli Manning is not even on the trade block at least this year. He may be a cornerstone player for the Giants, but that's just because of the issue that the Giants have. This is not an offensive team. Victor Cruz is their only really powerhouse player on offense. Defense is aside the point. But I think it all begins with letting go of Eli Manning. So I say Redskins take the win here, and Tom Coughlin will lose his job before the 2014 season. Okay, next up we have the 6-9 Buffalo Bills going to Foxborough to take on the 11-4 New England Patriots. Patriots can clinch a first round bye with a win plus a Cincinnati Bengals loss. I believe that the Patriots will cruise to an easy win here. Actually, no. I don't think they will cruise to an easy win. That's my mistake for saying that. I think it'll be a hard-fought battle because Buffalo can really be a surprising team. We saw last week shutting out Miami 19-0, which no one expected. Everyone expected the Dolphins to cruise to an easy win. Once again, I should mention that once again, starting quarterback rookie EJ Manuel is out for this game. Thad Lewis will get the start at QB. But nevertheless, I do see them trying to fight hard. I think it'll be about a 7-point Patriots win. So I truly believe the Patriots will get the win here, no matter how hard Buffalo is able to fight them, because Tom Brady will do what Tom Brady always does, and rally his team together. And however, I don't see the Bengals losing, as I said before. So it'll be interesting to see the outcome of that situation with the New England Patriots. All right, next up we have one of the top 2 games of the week, in my opinion. 2 teams that are fighting for a playoff spot. It is the final game to determine the NFC North champion, the 7-7-1 Green Bay Packers going up against the 8-7 Chicago Bears. Winner, it's very simple here. Winner not only gets the division, but also gets into the playoffs. Loser does not get into the playoffs. They are gone. Bye-bye. Better luck next season. If a couple days ago everyone would have said Bears for the win, easy. But there's that one factor that we heard 2 days ago. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, the best quarterback in football today, will get the start for Green Bay after being out for nearly 2 months with a collarbone injury. Jay Cutler getting the start for Chicago. It's really a career-defining moment or test for Jay Cutler. If they win, you get into the playoffs, great. You're staying in Chicago. If not, buddy, you're most likely getting cut, and you're most likely not coming back to Chicago. Jay Cutler is a free agent this year, so if he loses, he can kiss his career in Chicago goodbye. Nevertheless, I still see, however, the Chicago Bears winning this game. Star linebacker for Green Bay, Clay Matthews, out for this game with an injury. And that's a huge loss for Green Bay. Offense can only do so much, good defense creates good offense, and that's a huge loss for Green Bay in that factor, especially on a playoff time. Clay Matthews is one of the better defensive players when it comes to crucial games, especially with playoff implications, and it's really just going to be a struggle for Green Bay defensively. Their only option is to find a way to really stand their ground in the backfield, because Bears wide receivers Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall are going to be coming at them with a full force. I'm going to say a lot of slant plays here, maybe a few curl routes, but nevertheless, I see the Bears taking the win here and moving on to the playoffs. All right, next up we have the 12-3 Denver Broncos going up against the 4-11 Oakland Raiders. Denver can not only clinch the Denver has clinched the division title, but they will also clinch home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs with a win here plus a New England Patriots loss. Let me explain what that means. It means every single game up to the Super Bowl that they play in, it will be at Mile High Stadium in Denver. So that's such a huge advantage to have, especially for a team that only had one home loss this season. Of course, I once again see Denver taking the win here. Wes Welker was practicing today, so that's a big upside for them. And it's just I think it'll be a fun game to watch, just because I always find fun whenever Oakland plays, whether it's they do horrible or they do amazingly well. It's always fun to watch the Raiders play. And a little bit of controversy in this actually. Peyton Manning's 50th touchdown pass of the season, which was a record, NFL record tying Tom Brady's record in 2007. Turned out that before the receiver Eric Decker fully caught the ball, had full control of the ball, one foot was out of bounds, so uh, it does not count. So Peyton Manning only at 50 touchdown passes, but this game he's most likely going to officially break the record. Congratulations to Peyton Manning, 51 touchdown passes in one season, NFL record, along with most touchdown passes in a game, tying the NFL record for it. I truly believe this is the greatest quarterback season of all time, and I know this is stretching a lot. I think Peyton Manning is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. I know a lot of people would say, oh, Joe Montana is because he has 4 Super Bowl rings. You know what? Players don't make Super Bowl. A team makes a Super Bowl victory. One player can't win the whole thing by himself, but one player can do a lot by himself, and Peyton Manning has done just that. He has not single-handedly, but without the Broncos, they would not be anywhere near as good as they are now, even with the star power they have on defense and in terms of receiving. And I just got to congratulate Peyton Manning, in my opinion, the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. Nevertheless, Broncos take the easy win here, and hopefully Patriots lose so they can claim home field advantage throughout the playoffs. All right, next up we have the 4-11 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, going up against the 10-5 New Orleans Saints. Saints can clinch the NFC South Championship with and a first round bye, with a win and Panthers loss. I do see the Saints winning here, but like I said before, Panthers I believe are going to take the win for their side, so I think the Panthers are going to stick with the first round bye. Next up we have the San Francisco 49ers sitting at 11-4 to go to Arizona and take on the 10-5 Cardinals. Because of the competitiveness in that division, the NFC West, Cardinals currently sitting at 3rd place with the Seahawks in 1st and 49ers in 2nd, which is why that the Cardinals may become the first team ever to be 11-5. 3rd team ever to be 11-5 and not make the playoffs. 49ers can clinch the NFC West Championship and a first round bye in the playoffs with a win plus a Seattle Seahawks loss, and Cardinals can clinch playoff spot with a win plus a Saints loss. But like I said, I see the Saints winning their game, so unfortunately for the Cardinals, I think the Cardinals are going to win this game, but unfortunately I don't see them making the playoffs. Still a great run by the Cardinals, a team that proved everyone wrong, especially with a struggling quarterback like Carson Palmer coming in. Truly an underdog story here, even if they don't. This is honestly like a friggin' Disney movie, like a Disney sports movie that would be made. You know, a team that has nothing rises up but ends up not getting everything they wanted, but they still learn something before. Like, it's unbelievable. You can't write this stuff. And it's just unbelievable what the Cardinals have done. So I give my respects to the Arizona Cardinals, a team that I truly think should be in the playoffs. But unfortunately, it's all about the rankings. Nonetheless, I see the Cardinals taking the win here. And, yep, I believe that the Cardinals will take the win, but unfortunately not make the playoffs. Next up, we have the 7-8 St. Louis Rams going to CenturyLink Stadium, the loudest stadium on earth, to take on the 12-3 Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks can clinch the NFC West Championship and home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs with a win and a 49ers loss. Like I said before, I think the 49ers will lose, so that's up to them. Also, it's Seattle at home, and St. Louis isn't exactly what the Cardinals are, so I think Seattle will take the win here. I think they'll get everything they want, and they will have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, without the Super Bowl, of course. And how can I put this? I don't think Seattle will win the Super Bowl. I'll get to that in my next report, NFL report, but I do not think Seattle will win the Super Bowl there. Nonetheless, I got to give ups to an incredible season. Sophomore quarterback, all the struggles they had with Pro Bowl cornerback Brandon Browner now suspended for the year. Star wide receiver Percy Harvin only playing one game this year due to injury. And I think that Pete Carroll should have been coach of the year, but nevertheless, just an incredible team that's just so hard to dislike. So, like Denver and Arizona, or sort of like Peyton Manning and Arizona Cardinals, I give my respects to the Seattle Seahawks. And the final game, probably the biggest game of the week, is the 9-6 Philadelphia Eagles going to Dallas to take on the 8-7 Cowboys. Like the Packers and Bears game, the winner of this game wins their division championship, the NFC East Championship, and makes the playoffs. Loser is out. They do not make the playoffs. Some big changes in this game as well. Tony Romo will not be playing this game due to a back injury. Backup QB Kyle Orton will get the start for Dallas. And, however, I don't think that Kyle Orton has a big game mentality yet. The thing about Tony Romo is, yes, he can choke sometimes, but he still does have big game experience. And that still plays a huge factor in this. And once you see what the Eagles have done this year, new coach, LaShawn McCoy having his best season ever at running back, backup quarterback comes in, ties the NFL record for most touchdown passes in a game, youngest player ever to have a 100% pass rating in a game, and only threw two interceptions the entire year. In my opinion, one of the best quarterbacks of this season. And it's just so hard to not take the Eagles for the win here, which is what I'm going to do. I think the Eagles will run all over Dallas because of Dallas's immaturity. Des Bryant, I don't think, will get along with Kyle Orton. I'd like to see the Cowboys make the playoffs because I'm sick of all the ridicule they get, and I think it'd just be fun to see them just make the playoffs, just to be a big in your face to all the people who just constantly insult them. But nevertheless, I have to take the Eagles for this win here, and Cowboys are gonna try and have another gonna have to bounce back from another disappointing last game. And head coach Jason Garrett, currently in the hot seat, most likely going to lose his job after this season with Dallas. So there it is. There are my playoff implications reports there. Please leave comments below. Leave who you think is going to make the playoffs below. And hope you guys enjoy watching the final week of the 2013 NFL season. All right.